Today, in the first reading regarding the covenant, I heard him say, Moses spoke to the people, saying, This day the Lord your God commands you to observe these statutes and decrees. Be careful, then, to observe them with all your heart and with all your soul. Today you are making this agreement with the Lord. He is to be your God, and you are to walk in His ways, and observe His statutes, commandments, and decrees, and to hear and listen to His voice. And today, the Lord is making this agreement with you. You are to be a people unusually His own, as He promised you, and provided you keep all His commandments, He will then raise you high in praise and renown and glory above all other nations He has made, and you will be a people sacred to the Lord your God, as He promised. Today, regarding the love of enemies, I heard Him say, Jesus said to His disciples, You have heard that it was said, You shall love your neighbor and hate your enemy. But I say to you, love your enemies, and pray for those who persecute you, that you may be children of your heavenly Father. For He makes His sun rise on the bad and the good, and causes rain to fall on the just and the unjust. For if you love those who love you, what reward will you have? Don't the tax collectors do the same? And if you greet your brothers and sisters only, what is unusual about that? Don't the pagans do the same? So be perfect as your heavenly Father is perfect. Yes, so I've honorably served for 23 years in the military. I found it to be a very disciplined, rules or policy-based organization that we always adhere to the core values, including honor, courage, and commitment. And yet, throughout those years, I've yet to remember I have not in any of my deployments in places of conflict and war that the command, the higher-ups, admirals and generals declare to love your enemies. But here it is, as I heard it as part of Jesus' Sermon on the Mount, the teaching on love and humility. In the Sermon of the Mount, there were 8 Beatitudes, plus one that He had mentioned, to be blessed. Blessed are the poor in spirit, the meek, they who mourn, they that hunger and thirst after justice, the merciful, the clean of heart, and the peacemakers. And then it was also added, Blessed are they that suffer persecution for justice' sake. So after commanding believers not to seek revenge in the face of insults, Jesus expands the idea of love to include one's enemies. That is a tall task, quite difficult. So as for me and perhaps most of whom I have served, it is just naturally quite a bit of a struggle to accept that idea of passively accepting persecution. But towards the end, as Jesus compared it to the likes of being a tax collector or pagan, no, I should agree. And I do agree. I should love my enemies. In fact, I should love my enemies as my neighbor, as I love myself. Lastly, I heard Him say towards the end of this passage that I should be perfect as the Heavenly Father is perfect. Yes, the word perfect in my mind is quite earthly until I meditated on it and realized that perfect in Matthew's Gospel must mean fulfilled and complete, fully functioning or finished. Then that's perfect. Therefore, that describes an accomplished purpose or intent to be perfect as the Heavenly Father is perfect.